Welcome to the Don't Get Hurt Twice podcast. My name is J. Chad Parker. I'm a personal injury trial lawyer, board certified in personal injury trial law. This podcast and the episodes that we have here are meant to give the public information that hopefully leads to them not getting hurt twice. If you think about that phrase, it's fairly easy to understand what it means. It means it assumes something bad happened to you initially. You got hurt in a car wreck. Somebody did something to you at work. You were on the job in the oil field. Something happened to you first. And then it's after that injury going forward until it is resolved that determines whether you were hurt twice. Now, you by yourself, other circumstances, and a lawyer that you decide to partner with can all contribute to that. We've talked about some of these things on other podcast episodes, depending on the kind of case. What we're going to talk about today is really more who I am. I'm a personal injury lawyer practicing all over East Texas. I live in Tyler. I was born and raised there. I went to high school there. And but for college and law school, I have spent my entire life there. I mean, East Texas people, their values are something that, are mine and I'm very comfortable with. And quite frankly, I like the people. And I think people like the lifestyle in Texas. And I think that's why we're seeing so many people from other states and places moving in here. But everybody wants to know their lawyer as much as they can. And most of the time, there's not a whole lot of time to know your lawyer. But clients oftentimes ask to meet me, especially when I haven't met them, and I wasn't there when they were signed up. And I always appreciate that opportunity and always thank them for allowing me to represent them. And I thank them for thinking of me because it's a great compliment to ensure whatever problem that you have to me and trust me to resolve it. And so, if you want to have more confidence that you're not going to get hurt twice, I feel it's only my obligation to tell you more about me. That is, on what basis do I lobby you to hire me and suggest that will lead to you not getting hurt twice? Always in anything, education, experience, qualification, those are big parts of anything, whether it be a doctor, a dentist, an accountant. How well are you at the trade that you practice? Now, the intangibles I submit to you can oftentimes be more important. And what I mean by that is, do you care? Are you lazy? Am I comfortable? Am I really competitive at all? Do I, at the bare minimum, even care about people? That's the question I think people need to ask themselves about the lawyers that they're hiring because, there's qualified lawyers, but they're not all the same. They don't have the same personality, and they certainly don't have the same experience. Now, I think anybody who knows me knows I'm extremely competitive, right? I played football in high school and other sports. I walked on at the University of Texas. I ran the scout team offense for the Texas Longhorns, Fred Akers last year against the first team defense. I've coached my son and Patrick Mahomes, which was the same age, and we went to the World Series, the Junior League World Series, and lost to Chinese Taipei. And I did that as a practicing lawyer in a summer where I essentially was gone half the time. So I'm telling you I'm competitive. But experience, if you don't know what you don't know, then you don't know what you don't know. And that sounds pretty straightforward, but experience only comes sometimes from actually being involved in the process. Sometimes, honestly, and lawyers don't like to admit this, some of the best experience comes from mistakes we've made. Things that once we made that mistake, you can bet we never made that one again. I like to joke. That's why they call it the practice of law. When somebody says, "Hey, why'd you do it?" Hey, that's why they call it the practice of law, right? It's not like it's like they call it the practice of medicine, right? The human body is different from every case. I mean, they don't, a person's blood pressure isn't the same in surgery as it is for somebody else's. A person doesn't testify as well or look as well or speak as well as another one under the same set of facts. So it's a practice sometimes. And the lawyer should make the decisions that strategically put you in the best chance for success, right? I mean, try to shield bad facts, try to amplify good ones, things of that nature. Now, where do I get all this experience? Well, I'm going to tell you. My dad was a lawyer for over 40 years, and I worked for him as a defense lawyer defending insurance companies from 1993 for about 20 years. After that, I became a personal injury trial lawyer, and I transitioned along the way. So I was in it, in overlapping practices until I was completely out. And when I say out, I mean out. When you work for insurance companies, when you get out, you say, hey, I got out, like you got out of a prison, okay? Because they're not people, they're not appreciative. They just wanted results and they could care less. But, hey, it's for some people. It just wasn't for me. It's just that my family dictated the direction I started in. I loved practicing law, especially trial law, and I did the best I could and tried to be as honorable as I could along the way. Now, it got to the point where I can recall some losses at courthouses where I actually felt bad because I won, which led to me wanting to give that up. And so the point of all this is I've tried 100 cases plus 2 jury verdicts. I worked for the insurance company as their trial lawyer for many years. I've worked for different parts of the insurance company. For instance, I handled all the trucking cases for a certain insurance company. I was on the oil and gas accident panel on another. So I have a broad perspective. I've tried 2 asbestos cases and 1 silicosis case. So, I've tried an arson case. And so I've got a breadth of knowledge that all leads to what? Evaluating your case, recommending to you, hey, we ought to take this, or don't take this. Let's file suit and go forward. That's where you get helped. How many times have you heard somebody who turned down an offer, tried the case, and got less or got 0? Now, I say that's on the lawyer, unless the client said, we're trying it anyway. My clients, I recommend it. If I think they should take it and they say no, I have them sign a piece of paper that says, I'm recommending it. That is J. Chad Parker. They're rejecting it, and we're going forward. That way, they're not looking at me if my experience they did not listen to. So, now, I don't have a crystal ball, and nor does any lawyer. But we do the best we can and the best for you. And the best outcome for you, ultimately, would likely come from somebody with a lot of broad experience over the years. They don't pay out as much in car wreck cases today as they did in 1974. So if somebody says otherwise, they clearly don't know what they're talking about, or they're trying to sell you on something. But, do I care? I want people to know I care. I think most people that know me know I care. And how does that shake out? I think when you go look at the kind of return business that I have, the kind of Google reviews that I get from my clients, and I don't tell them what to say. I just said, hey, if you don't mind, put whatever you want. I said, as long as it's not bad. And that's what's on my Google reviews. Caring about people means cutting my fee sometimes, even when I'm entitled to it contractually. Like the contract says, I get X. But that's not how the world works, and that's not how you take care of people. But for the people that don't get to talk to me at this depth, at this level, I hope to have answered some questions, told you some things about me that give you a comfort level that I might be the right person for you. And the reason that I want to be the right person for you is so you don't get hurt twice.